Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Kurt Winters YouTube channel, dedicated to bringing you advice on collecting cars and celebrating the history of these amazing machines. This channel is focused on helping you with your car or restoration project. Today's video will be about the top 5 things that every Corvette owner should know before buying a C4. Okay, so our first thing that every Corvette owner should know, whether you own a Corvette or you're planning on buying a Corvette, is not to use the steering wheel as a handle when you get in and out of the car. So let's take a look at the steering wheel and some different ways to get into the car, and something to look out for if you're shopping for a C4 Corvette. You want to check out that steering wheel. So let's go take a look. Okay, so what you're going to notice is that there's a very high door seal and a very low bucket when you're dropping in. So what happens is people grab the steering wheel as a handle to brace themselves when they're falling down into the seat. A lot of people have described the Corvette as a fall down into type of car. So what you want to make sure that you avoid is that you don't grab the steering wheel when you drop in. And if you're shopping for C4 Corvettes, go ahead and give the steering wheel a good shake. Now you'll notice that this one is still pretty intact. There's not a lot of play. Apparently there's an aluminum knuckle that connects to the tilt mechanism that's very, very easy to bend if you're putting all of your weight on it. So a good course of action is to put your hand down on the door seal or put your butt on the door seal and kind of fall in. And just remember, don't use the steering wheel as a handle. Okay, so number 2 that every Corvette owner should know: never ever use the cup holders in your C4 Corvette. The cup holders were designed by a very, very angry GM ergonomic scientist who was later fired by the company. So let me show you what he did when he designed cup holders in your sports car. So let's hop inside and take a look at the interior. It's not pretty. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got going on here. First of all, this is kind of your average can of energy drink, chocolate peanut butter blast. What you'll notice is the can actually sits, I would say, less than a quarter of the way in. And what happens is if you accelerate, it goes back, and if you brake, it shoots forward. Now, the problem is that this whole center console, which is already kind of sticky because of sticky 90s GM plastic, your drink will dump all down in here and leak all into your console. Then what you're stuck with, if I can put this MFer back in, doesn't even want to fit. What you're stuck with is taking the whole center console apart, and I can't tell you how many drinks have been spilt in C4 Corvettes. Now, do not use this cup holder, okay? If you're in a rush, you have your latte, please don't use it. And the other problem is this plate never stayed shut. So I wound up using a few strips of Velcro, a little bit of Southern Engineering, because every time you braked or turned or anything, this plate would flip up, and that is not cool. So remember, don't use your cup holder. Don't forget, if you like the content of this channel, please subscribe and click that notification bell so you can be alerted when I post new uploads to this awesome channel. Thanks, everyone. Okay, the number 3 thing that every C4 Corvette owner should know is your Targa top. Let's take a look. Okay, I was talking with the owner of Mid-Cities Classics which is a Corvette specialty shop located in Hurst, Texas, that I use for all my Corvette needs. And he was telling me some horror stories about this Targa top. Now, this is a removable glass Targa top. Some were body colored, but this is the tinted see-through glass. And what you want to keep in mind, if you ever take your top off, do not set the top on the car without properly securing all of the bolts. So I've heard some stories on some forums from people who there was a rainstorm, they had it parked outside, they threw the Targa top on real quick, and then the next day or so they're on the highway doing 50 or 60 and your Targa top flies off. Now, I've priced these on eBay from rough to clean, and I've seen everywhere from $700 up to $1,500 for a clean Targa top. So, for God's sakes, if you're gonna take the Targa top off your car, put it on the side of the garage, but don't set it back on top of the car without properly securing all of the bolts. It does come with a special tool to tighten the bolts down. Another thing that I've heard in a lot of forums is people really don't like to take the Targa top off, especially if they're driving in a spirited fashion because of structural rigidity issues. So keep that in mind and never ever blow your top. Awesome. You're still hanging out and watching. I really appreciate that. I've been working really hard on this channel this year, and our goal is 1,000 subscribers. So if you like the content of this channel, please click subscribe and join the C4 tribe. Now back to the fun. Okay, so this brings us to the number 4 thing that every C4 Corvette owner should know, which is pressure washing your engine. Do not do it. So let's take a look at the engine bay and explain why this can be detrimental to your LT1 small block 350. All right, so this is kind of going to be a twofold point here. As a C4 Corvette owner, or if there's a C4 Corvette owner in your life, or if you're thinking about buying one and you bring it home and the engine is dirty with oil and grime, do not, I repeat, do not pressure wash the inside of your engine. There is an OptiSpark distributor located towards the front of the engine, and if it gets wet, you're essentially going to ruin it. And that also brings up a second point. Never ever take your C4 Corvette through a car wash. This is a bad idea. Once again, I've read in several forums where people have taken their cars through the car wash, their OptiSpark gets wet, and really it's a 50-50 proposition. Even once the OptiSpark dries out, it still could be ruined. This car, the OptiSpark was ruined beforehand, so I did have to go ahead and replace it. But never ever pressure wash your engine bay, and please never ever take your Corvette C4 through a car wash. Corvette used a really high quality paint, and I wouldn't even recommend using anything else than maybe a light hand buff and at the most an oscillating buffer with absolutely no pressure from your hand. Because when you're dealing with 25 and 30-year-old paint, you want to make sure that you're not buffing through that clear coat. So if you want to think about this car as kind of a gremlin, you can. Don't get it wet because not only will it multiply, but it will become evil and try to eat your entire family on Christmas. All right, so this brings us to the number 5 thing that every C4 Corvette owner should know, and something that I actually recently learned at a Corvette car show. A lot of people like to open up their hood and their doors to kind of display what they got going on. I mean, you want to show that baby off. But let me show you what can happen if you close the hood with the doors open. So let's go take a look, okay? Okay, so how you can think about the Corvette is a series of independent plastic pieces. Yes, it is fiberglass, but they call it the plastic fantastic. Now, the main issue is over the years, these cars not only suffer from door sag, which, I mean, look at this door. This door is at least 30 feet long. And what happens is the doors will sag under their own weight, either side. And if you slam your hood while the doors are open, you're gonna risk not only chipping the fiberglass here and also chipping it on the gigantic hood, which we already know is massive. So if you're at a car show and you want to close that hood, we're going to come around, close those doors real nice and easy, and then I'm going to show you my technique for closing my hood. I've got an upcoming video on some different tips and tricks about how to keep your C4 Corvette hood aligned and in good position. But let me go ahead and show you my technique, and it works best with two people. Now, I read in the Corvette manual, and I've also read on different forums and on some YouTube videos where people slam it from about a foot down. I don't slam any of the hoods on my cars. That's just something I don't do. So let me show you how I close my hood. Again, it works best with two people, but I'll show you what I do with even one. So let's check it out. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you my technique for closing my hood. And again, everyone's gonna do it a little bit different. And I'd love for you to put in the comments how you like to close your massive C4 hood. So what I like to do is I go ahead and grab it and I bring it down all the way to where I can barely hear the pins either click. So you'll see right here, I'm pushing down and I'm getting a click on a pin. Now, when I said it usually works best with two people, I prefer to have one person push the pin down there and push the other pin over here. And I'm not dropping it from a foot down. I'm using even pressure, just very slightly, to push it in and click. So I'll come around here to the other side and you can kind of see my technique. Now I know my hood's secure and it's okay to give a light little tug to make sure that that's not going to pop back out. But that's how I like to close my C4 hood. If you guys have some other techniques and tricks for that, please put that in the comment below. I'd really, really appreciate it. All right, I want to thank everyone for watching, and a big thanks to the C4 community. Remember, this channel's goal is 1,000 subscribers. So if you like the content, if you enjoy what we're doing here, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. We put a lot of effort into this channel. And I want to thank you, and everyone have a happy holidays and a safe new year. I will see you in the next video.